Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Ayutthaya. And what we're going to take a look at today is we're going to look at Wat Pho, or the Temple of the Bodhi Tree. And the reason why I came over here today is I was here like 2 years ago, and I remember that they have like a royal palace building here on this temple grounds that has the Persian influence. And whenever I was making a video a few weeks back, I was over on the city island and there was a bridge that had the Persian influence also. And it reminded me that I need to come over here and look at this temple again. So anyway, I came over here today and I'm planning on flying the drone around because I want to see what the site looks like from the air. It's kind of a little bit difficult to get to during the rainy season because it does flood over here. There was an old canal, I think it was like the Sra Bua Canal or something like that, or the Khlong Pho maybe, that used to come here to this site. And they say it was like 70 acres total, and it had a moat and everything here. And I want to look at it from above as well as walk through here in the ruins. So let's see what we see today. So this is the site. So at the northern part of it is this nice chedi with the indented corners, and it would have had the little spire that went all the way up to the top that part of it's broken off. And this is Late Ayutthaya style. And then there was like 4 smaller satellite chedis here around the base. And then it has 2 small temple buildings over there. It has the Wihan and the Ubasot, or the ordination hall. And then this right here is the former royal palace. And whenever they were over here doing some excavation, they found bricks all through this area. So they think that this might have been a lot more important than what it looks like today. So you can't really hardly see, but through this tall brush right here is a couple of the smaller little satellite chedis. And I think there were 4 of them out here in the brush. You can see there, and then there's some bricks and stuff kind of scattered about. And then it's right here next to this chedi. And there's not a whole lot left of it other than just the bricks. A little bit of the plaster right there, and then just a little bit up at the top that you can see. And then the moat would have been right up there, and then it would also, the canal would have went right there and would have joined in over there. So this is a low spot, but it is pretty cool. I like the styling of it for sure. This over here is the moat that would have cut through the middle of the temple. And it would have had monk quarters and stuff like that that would have been off to the south. That was tradition where they built the wooden buildings. And then this is the really cool part of this temple. And this is what I really wanted to see. And I don't know if you can see way over there, but that is Wat Ratchabarana. That is one of the main sites on the island. So we're not too far away from the Lopburi River, the new canal. The old course of the Lopburi River, I believe, was over that way, and it's shifted into its current location. And then it has 2 temple buildings there, but this is the one that's really cool. And it's a 2-story building, and you can see the arches, how they were constructed, would have had the Persian influence, and it is fantastic. And you see how much of this grass has grown up around here and all the vines growing on it. Oh, but it's really cool. I like this. Yeah, I'm not gonna walk down in there inside of it. Not a whole lot to see with the tall grass, and you got to be careful of snakes and stuff like that. But yeah, the Persians had influence, and some of the Thai kings used the Persians to protect their interests against some of the other nobles. And then they also used like the Portuguese and all the other foreigners. Okay, so let's go take a look at those 2 small buildings over there. And there's a cool chedi with the tree growing on it. And right over here by these 2 buildings. So this is the old crystal wall, or what do they call it? The Kamphaeng Kaeo, I believe. So this was the small little ordination hall. You can see the bases for the little Sema stones. And then it has the same styling, the Persian influence, those little lotus bud doorways. And you can see how the base is. This is also a pretty common styling across the bottom here for the Ayutthaya style. So you would have been able to go inside. Has the high threshold, of course, and then it looks like it had 2 windows on each side. And this is pretty cool. Had these little notches right here for some images. There's one in the back and one in the front. And then the Buddha would have been sitting right there. And you can see how it was constructed with the brick. And then this was definitely restored. You can see how new that wood is up there. I don't know what year the Fine Arts Department came in here and restored this, but it's in pretty decent shape. They said that this was also restored at the start of the Bangkok era, and they would have came back in here and redid all this plaster and fixed the wood and stuff like that. And you can see how thick that plaster is too around the door. It's 2 inches thick. And then there was a chedi right here in between the 2 buildings. And then this is the Wehan over here. And let's check out this little chedi here with the tree growing on it. So you can see this one here would have had the indented corners, and then you can see right there the plaster work that they would have done on the corners. That would have been similar to that big tall chedi that's over there. And then this one here, check this out. It's absolutely amazing how these trees just intertwine into things like this. So they make it fall down, but they also prop up part of it with all the roots. The roots get in there and separate it, make it unstable, and it kind of falls apart, but then it props up what's left, and then you just can't get it out of there after this. And then you can see over here, looks like somebody's gathered up some of the bricks and stuff like that. And this would have been the moat that would have eventually ran, it's filled in over there, but that would have eventually ran into the main part of Ayutthaya. So the Wehan wouldn't have had any windows on the sides here. You can see the same styling across the bottom. Then it would have had a front porch here that would have had a little image, and then it would have had 3 doors. That center door would have been quite large. It looks like somebody's brought some brick in. Oh, I see what they're doing. They're taking the brick out of that platform right there. I don't know what their plan is here. I don't know if it's the Fine Arts Department or just somebody digging for a relic or something. Doesn't look like it's the Fine Arts Department. Looks like it's just somebody doing it. So you can see this hall would have been quite large on the inside. It has some really thick walls that would have supported the weight of the roof. And I don't know if there would have been mural paintings in here, probably so. But you'd have seen the 3 doors on this side, and then it would have had just the one single door over there with the Buddha image sitting right there. And you can see a little bit of the plaster work. That would have been like a lotus bud up across the top. And they'd have had that little chedi looking thing right above the door. But there's a tree growing right there in that little tiny crack. So if that gets enough moisture, it'll start taking over this whole wall. Oh, it's kind of interesting. And the same here, that plaster work would have had the faux columns in it. And then there's a tree growing over there, and then that little tiny ordination hall. The Wehan was definitely the more important building. And one more look here at this little palace. And it's just right here next to the rest of the temple. So you would have came up here by boat, and probably the Persian VIPs would have came here and stayed. It's hard to say. There's not a whole lot of information about this temple, but what you see is pretty fantastic. Yeah, this is really, really cool. This is probably the best look at that little palace right there. Yeah, really nice. Well, that'll finish up a pretty quick little video over here at Wat Pho. This is a cool little temple. It's probably late Ayutthaya era. They really don't know when it was built. But it's off the island. It's to the north, and you're not going to have any tourists over here. A few of the Thais will be out here, but it's generally even forgotten about by them. People ride up by on the road, and it's just a a ruin out here amongst all the brush and stuff like that. But if you like these old historic temples like this, like I do, it's worth a look. If you want to come over and spend, 15-20 minutes or so, I would say that's probably about the most time you need. And it's interesting enough to me, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new here, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. If you like me kind of going out of the way and seeing these unknown temples and stuff like that, let me know. Or if you've been here or if you have any questions or comments, let me know also. And until next time, from over here in Ayutthaya, remember, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.